Hello, everyone. My name is Margaret Resce Milkint, and I am the host of All Intent Spotlight. And today I have the pleasure of welcoming and introducing Chris Reilly, who is the co-founder and leader for Link USA in the States. So, Chris, a very warm welcome to you from All Intent Spotlight. We are delighted to put the big spotlight on Link USA. To kick us off, please give us a little bit of your background, a little bit of the story, the color commentary, and I'm going to ask for one fun fact as well.
Okay, sure. Well, it's great to be here. I appreciate it, Margaret. Always great to see you. As you said, I'm Chris Reilly. I am the national co-chair of Link USA. And that's like many of us, that's my volunteer job. But by day, I'm a senior vice president at AmWINS Group Benefits, the national practice leader for our retiree solutions division. And I've been at AmWINS for 23 years since it began. Prior to that, and I'm on the benefit side doing retiree solutions mostly. Prior to that, I was in the property casualty side, mostly with Aon as a broker. I lived in Rhode Island my whole life up until just a year ago. Literally, I think it was about a year ago this week. My husband and I moved to Tampa, Florida, and we absolutely love it, especially this time of year. It's absolutely beautiful. I think we're missing out on a little snow in Boston today, so it's nice to be here in Tampa. Fun fact, well, I don't know if it's a fun fact, but I guess something interesting to share about me, and it kind of gets to where I am today. I feel very fortunate to have married an amazing woman out of college when I went to Boston College. And grateful for the 2 adult sons I have now. But I also often describe myself as a late bloomer, someone who didn't truly discover my sexual identity until later in life. But it's been a long journey, but I think I'm right where I'm supposed to be. And next month, I'm going to be celebrating my 5th year wedding anniversary to my incredible husband, a man who I met almost 8 years ago, about 6 months after he immigrated to Providence, Rhode Island, of all places. He came from 10,000 miles away in Philippines, where he grew up. And so we always remind ourselves just how grateful we are every day that the universe brought us together, and we're right here where we're supposed to be. So very happy about that.
Oh, well, a big happy anniversary to you and your husband.
Thank you.
Thank you for humanizing and telling us your story. I think that it's one of my greatest silver linings from COVID, is that opportunity that we have on these screens, in person, now wherever we are, to really bring our full selves to the table, to the party, to the organizations that we serve in and we work in, together side by side. So Chris, thank you for that. So let's talk a little bit about Link USA. Obviously, this is a labor of love, a mission for you and Charles. Please, tell us a little bit about Link, what you're doing, and where you are now on the journey here in the States.
Sure. So Link USA started 2 years ago when we launched in Los Angeles, California. Charles is located in San Diego, so it was definitely fitting to start there in Los Angeles. But Link started originally 10 years ago in London. In fact, they just celebrated their 10th year anniversary back in London in September. And really over the last 10 years, Link UK has been incredibly successful, focused on the mission of Link. And that mission, just to be clear, is to make the insurance industry the employer of choice for the LGBTQ plus community. So that's really what drives us every day. And it was Charles who is, my national co-chair with me. He's a property underwriter now at AIG out there in California, but he deserves a lot of the credit for persuading Link UK to, as we say, come across the pond. He was looking for an organization that could represent the LGBT community within the insurance industry. And today the result and the response we received here in the U.S. has really been incredible. We are now, as I said, we're in Los Angeles. We've launched in New York City and recently in Chicago, which are three, very large insurance markets in the U.S. And really, so far, everyone has just been so grateful that we're bringing Link to the U.S. I've heard so many people say that they've been looking for something similar, that we could be, hyper focused on helping the LGBT community within the insurance industry. My hope, my goal is that, probably in the next 18 to 24 months, we'll launch in several more cities. Link UK has a smaller footprint than the United States. So to try to, get Link to be, a household name, so to speak, in the US is a little bit more challenging. But I think we're going to set out to get to Atlanta and Dallas, maybe Lauderdale, Florida, Boston, New England area, northern, northwest corner, maybe San Francisco, just to name a few in the next, 18 to 24 months. But we're still really early in the stages at Link USA. It's still very much a grassroots effort where we're still just trying to get the word out about Link USA, trying to educate the industry about our mission and make sure that, companies and executives continue to embrace the DE&I efforts necessary to support the LGBT community, the employees and future employees. We're out there constantly reminding people that, this is such a great industry to provide a lifelong career. And, the LGBT community probably just in general doesn't think of the insurance industry as a place where they could go to, but we're trying to make sure that they understand that there's great opportunity in the industry, and the industry is becoming more inclusive and more diverse. But we can't take our foot off the pedal. We've got to make sure that we keep the pressure on to educate the employers to continue this push for inclusivity and diversity.
Now it's fabulous. And we're going to do our part here at All Intent Spotlight to get
I
that word
appreciate that.
out, because the work you're doing is game changing. And, that brings me to a topic that's near and dear to both of our hearts. How can the insurance industry and its allies start to work to change that perception that is out there that you talked about, that insurance is not diverse, it's not inclusive, it's not welcoming, in general, as well as the specific mission that you have in the LGBTQ community?
Yeah, I think, again, we're such in the early stages of our growth here, but our primary focus right now is to kind of expand more in cities, gain more members, obtain financial support that we need in order to deliver on the products initiatives that we want to undertake. But I think what we want to really try to do is make sure that we help the LGBT community, understand that there is opportunity here. We know that when LGBT employees, like everyone, feel more comfortable at work, they're more productive. When allies express their support openly and create a more inclusive culture, that really helps everyone. It's going to inspire a work culture that produces better results for everyone. And ultimately, the goal is, a win-win, right? For employees, for companies, for the clients. So those are kind of, our focus, I guess.
And I think that's a great focus. And, that focus on culture and belonging. I think everyone is really delving and digging into what does that really mean? And how do we make it actionable? And how do we make it real? And really the community that you're creating across the United States, that is actionable, because it does start with community, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. It really does. And I think that, there's ways in which that we can help, and we want to try to promote, the different areas that insurance companies, employers need to, really focus on. I think that, in the last 5 years, so many companies, really stepped up into this whole embracing DE&I for sure. Companies started, introducing ERGs, employer resource groups or pride groups, and obviously D&I policies. And so that's all really important to do. But at the same time, we've heard, people kind of pulling back. We're in an environment politically that, there's changes coming, and sometimes it feels like we're going backwards to a certain extent. So that's why it's so important that we, keep focused on what we're trying to do, and help companies and individuals, employees, any way we can to, keep pressing the importance of diversity inclusion.
Absolutely, Chris. And you said it beautifully. So I'm going to ask you, to talk to us about, your dreams, yours and Charles, for Link USA. You're the champions. Spotlight is on you. Paint the picture for us. What is your dream? What does Link USA look like a year from now?
Yeah, good question. I think, as we know, time goes by so fast, and the fact that we've been at it for almost 2 years now is crazy. But the dream is, well, first of all, I love that you say, we're, Charles and I are champions for this cause, of course, but we are, we've been led by so many others ahead of us, right? There's been so many champions that have paved the way. And so we're grateful for the efforts of everybody. And I think, the whole purpose of All Intent, right? I mean, it's bringing everybody, creating awareness of everything and what everyone's trying to do really in this space, in this industry. And I think all that's, super, super important. As far as, Link USA goes, as I said, we want to try to help companies, with supporting their ERGs, their pride groups. We've heard some groups where, they're feeling, DE&I fatigue, right? And they need to re-energize these pride groups or their ERG groups. But some of the long-term goals that we have for Link that we hope are going to be helpful is, creating job boards within Link so that employees, LGBT community will understand, which companies are out there that truly are embracing, DE&I measures, so that they can feel comfortable about joining a company that is in this industry that is going to do that. We know that LGBT individuals haven't grown up with visible, successful role models. So we want to develop a strong mentoring program, so everyone has the opportunity to advance their career regardless of their sexual preferences, their pronouns, the color of their skin, or, obviously the religions that they were born into. But it's so important because there just haven't been those role models. And so it's important that we, help to, we want to, I guess, work with the companies to try to help modernize their DE&I policies, but also a bigger part of this for the LGBT community, wherever they work, is modernizing health insurance policies across the country. Today there's so many health insurance companies that need to be updated to meet the needs of every individual, to ensure that everyone has, the full and equal access to health insurance coverage. This means, making changes to, non-discrimination policies, coverage for chosen names and gender markers, gender affirming care, mental health support, HIV prevention and treatment, family building options. I'm fortunate that I have 2 sons from a prior marriage, but, I have friends that, struggle with how can they, start building a family when health insurance policies and employer policies don't align to that, as they do for the heterosexual employees. We need a huge emphasis to access transgender inclusive healthcare providers as well. So much is going on, and we see so much in this in the news and the divisiveness in the politics. But what we really need to do is make sure that we advance these causes so that the people here, the LGBT individuals, especially allies, truly get it, fully embrace the mission, fully embrace our efforts, so that we can make real positive change in the industry here.
Absolutely. Now, thank you for that leadership. I mean, that's real leadership, Chris, and it's actionable. And I think it really speaks to the other tenet that we've all been talking about so much, equity. Belonging and equity go hand in hand. And that's exactly what you're talking about here. It is actionable, it is real. And I think it's uplifting. When you talk about modernizing, the whole industry continues to modernize itself. And
Yeah, absolutely.
this is another area where we can modernize and we can take a fresh look. It is a fresh day. It is a new landscape. And, to those that say they have DEI fatigue, I say, where have you been lately? Because we have come so far and we have a long way to go, but we have so much to celebrate. And really celebrating Link and being the wind in your sails here as a DEIB community, that's what we want to do. So I have to ask you, how can people get involved with Link? How can, I might not be in a city that has a Link chapter yet. How can I get involved? And if I am in one of those 4 or 5 cities that you have targeted, how can I raise my hand to help you start to be a champion in Atlanta or Dallas or Boston or San Francisco as I think you're going to have people raising your hand, and I hope everybody is. So exciting, the energy that you've created in Chicago, in LA, in New York, and from these 3 cities, you're gonna have a groundswell. I'm gonna predict it in Margaret's crystal ball. There's gonna be a groundswell here, Chris.
Well, we've already felt it, and it has been great because obviously this insurance industry is so well connected across the country, right? So whether you work for a major insurance company, whether that's a national or regional player, any of the retailers or consulting firms, they often have offices all around the country, right? So what we find is when we launch in New York City or Chicago, the coworkers share that with their colleagues in other offices. And I get emails and messages from people saying, hey, when you're coming here, let us know. I want to help. I want to get involved, which is great. But as far as how, where people can find us, social media, obviously, we have a website, which is LGBTinsurancenetwork.com, all one word. And people can follow us on LinkedIn. They can find us at Link USA LGBTQ Plus Insurance Network. And we're also on Instagram at Link_LGBT. So those are the easy ways, kind of social media. Our website is integrated with the UK, so you can see what's happening around the UK. Interestingly, when we brought this to the US and launched in California, as I said, colleagues from other companies started to raise their hand, and companies also have, international offices. So we heard from people in Canada and Mexico and Bermuda. And we've now launched in Canada and Bermuda, and Mexico is going to come too. So it's an international, mission for sure. This industry is a great industry, and as we know, it touches all corners of the world. And so we're excited about that. So anybody who wants to get involved or reach out to us, definitely look for us on social media and reach out. We'd love your support, obviously.
Good. And please share on All Intent on our LinkedIn page as well. We will support, amplify, raise the banner, and wave our hands in all of these cities for you and Charles, Chris, and the entire team at Link USA. So thank you for the leadership, your energy, your spirit, your heart. It really does make a difference. And we are not only rooting for you, we're with you. We're with
Thank
you.
you.
And
Thank you.
happy you are under this tent with us. So
It's great to be here.
yes, so thank you. Thank you for joining, and more to come. I can't wait for part 2, Chris, and
Yes,
keep us posted, and good
I
luck.
will. I will. Thank you so much, Margaret. It's great to be here. Appreciate your support and your energy that obviously continues to invigorate this industry and the communities within it. So I appreciate it.
Thank you. Well, in this month of gratitude, very, very grateful for you and Charles, for your friendship and your partnership on this really important journey and this new path that we have in belonging and equity. So thanks again, Chris. All the best to you and
Thank
Link
you.
USA.
Thanks very much.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.